There's nothing more special than a relationship between a mother and her son. Here's a look at the new Living Dead Dolls Friday 13th Part 2, Jason Voorhees. Rising up from his supposed watery grave to avenge the death of his mother, Jason Voorhees is now the newest addition to the Living Dead Dolls line from Friday 13th Part 2. The sack-headed Jason comes included with the severed head of Pamela Voorhees and includes his pickaxe. Members of the mob, you'll pardon me for a second as I get to the very top of Jason's head. We're going to first figure out how tall the Living Dead Doll Friday the 13th Part 2 Jason Voorhees stands. If I'm reading this right, 11.1, 11.1, 11.1. It doesn't matter how you say it. I'm just enjoying the fact it says 111. Small things, fellas. Small things. Take the enjoyment out of the small things in life. Anyways. Centimeters, 28.3, almost 28.5 centimeters tall, is new Living Dead Dolls Friday 13th, Jason Voorhees. Feast your peepers on the following accessories that come included with the figure. A stylized version of Pamela Voorhees' head. Comes included with this Jason release. I don't know, for a second, I'm almost expecting the eyelids to open up and stare right at you. In fact, actually, my eyes are playing tricks on me. It seems almost the way that they shaded the eyelid, that it actually looks like her eyelids are transparent, and you can almost see right through them, translucent. You can almost see that eyeball staring right back at you. It's creepy, isn't it? The severed head is simply just a stump, so not a whole heck of a lot you can do with it. I suppose if you wanted to, you can makeshift a little small table, put the head on top of that before you do, of course, that. Wrap it in a nice blue wool sweater. You can see where I'm going with this. Little tiny candles. Boy, oh boy, you must set quite a spectacular dinner feast for when you have company over. Actually, I don't. It's all of it goes into this. Outside, efforts are not as much made. Anyways, the wrinkle of the head kind of looks like a walnut. It looks like she's a walnut with long hair. I should get into marketing. I do like the discolored nature of the under stump. That would imagine be that the color of the rest of the plastic. They simply just painted that. And you can kind of see a bit where the mess has happened, but again, you're really not going to see it from that point. I really wonder why there's yet like yellow here. I'm looking anywhere on the figure to see if there's yellow. There's a few little traces there on the head area. But I don't get where this yellow has started to come from. It kind of looks like it was brushed with mustard. Sweet mustard. I don't like the hot variety myself. So he does come included with that. He also comes included with his pickaxe. The only outing of Jason, I believe, to have experienced using a pickaxe. Usually it would be, you would have machete, axes, pitchforks, never pickaxes. I'm getting tongue-twisted here talking about this weapon. The pickaxe is nicely done here, kind of in a purple metallic silver. That's a slight departure from what you would normally expect to see. It's been done in like a purpley silver. I would imagine the coloring is probably the coloring of the handle here. I can't imagine that they painted this. So up here, probably the same idea. No, they would not have used completely different plastic and fitted it on as if you were making the pickaxe yourself. That's a whole lot of effort. They wouldn't have done that. They just would have painted the pickaxe. There is only one place that you can put the pickaxe, and it's on this hand here. I'm trying to actually think if the other Living Dead dolls, more often than not, tend to have one gripping hand and one relaxed hand. So it kind of gives you a good idea as to whereabouts you can put this. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. Yes, you're right. It's this hand here. You guys are so clever. You can put this into his hand, but I would advise probably just prying the fingers away from the palm. Luckily, his hands are rubbery enough that he does get a good grip on the pickaxe, and he can put it into his hand, just like that. A nice display piece. Probably going to display it, if anything, with the Pickaxe. Smitten I am, generally, when it comes to the Living Dead dolls. I don't collect anything and everything that comes out for them, but generally when it comes to certain propertied characters, you bet your bottom dollar, bunko, I'm going to go ahead and get the Living Dead dolls for whatever respected property I fancy. I certainly do fancy Friday the 13th, so all the more reasoning why I wanted to get Sack-Headed Jason. And what a neat-looking figure it is. It's not everybody's cup of tea. It's the equivalent of root beer. Not everybody likes root beer. One guy may love root beer. Another guy, not so much. I happen to be of the variety that likes root beer, but I don't source it out. I would pick a cola, I think, before I picked a root beer. That's just me. I'm spending a lot of time talking about root beers and sodas, not talking nearly enough time about the one hole in the sack in which the eye is looking right at you, deep into the crevices of your soul. The sack looks like it's been done with burlap, and it's been done almost in a white, kind of cream color, and it's been wrapped off, surprisingly not with string. It seems like it's a strip of fabric. It kind of almost looks like the underhide, the undersection of leather, but it ties enough. It doesn't give you enough clearance, mind you, so when you are tying it back up, I'll show you guys how that works in a second. You really don't have a whole lot to work with. There's not a whole lot of leeway happening here. The rest of Jason's outfit is trademark for Friday the 13th Part 2, so he's got himself a pair of coveralls done in blue, almost like a denim blue. He's got some buttons located on the top there, a plaid blue shirt with some buttons on the sleeves, and he's also got himself some boots. The unfortunate end of the boots is the fact that they are removable. That's not the bad part. The problem with it is anytime you have removable boots on Living Dead dolls, usually what ends up happening, let me just put them back on, you never really want to take them off in the first place because they're always a pain in the you-know-what to get back in place. But the problem is, you can hear them rattling. No, not dinner's not ready, but they do rattle quite a bit. I mean, I would prefer, if anything, they could just sculpt this in place, but generally I know when it comes to these Living Dead dolls, they're usually the same bodies. And simply they're just adding the new boots, the new outfit, whatever the article of clothing may be for the character that we wanted to release. There's some Velcro closure running all the way down the stripped spine of Jason. You could detach it if you want to. I don't really know why you'd want to take off Jason's clothes. Maybe that's something you fancy. I don't know. I'm not going to judge you. Let's go ahead and take the mask off, the sack head off, because I know this is all what you guys are here for. The price of admission was advertised with the revealing of Jason's face. And let's go ahead and do that right now. Children hide, or parents hide your children. Let's go ahead and take this off right now. Ready? Ready? There we go. What a gruesome sight. Not quite the mangled mess that he would have been in the actual film itself. They've kind of done a good job of balancing the two between Living Dead dolls and gruesome Jason Voorhees, the hillbilly Jason, if you will, from Part 2. One random eyebrow. This caterpillar is making his way across the quite rough terrain of his forehead, making his way up to his hair. I do like the coloring of his hair. From a glance point, it actually kind of looks a little bit like Chucky. You can see that he does have the... Is that a cleft lip? Is that what they call it? I'm no doctor. Obviously, if I was doing this, I wouldn't be in the medical trade. Is that a cleft lip? Somebody let me know down below in the comments section. The eyes are generally quite good. This one eye is wandering away, not to the extent of Shannon Doherty. That's more like that's a leveled eye issue. The wandering eye to the one side, I really don't have a celebrity I can compare that to. That's just mean all around anyways. He does have some teeth, chiclets peeking their way out from the bottoms of his top lip. Overall, like I said, not a bad looking face for a Living Dead doll. He does have the stubble, but not nearly the stubble I would hope. I mean, he has quite almost a fully finished beard in the movie. I think he even does have a beard. Here they just kind of subtly added some stubble. I think they could have done a little bit more. The airbrushing is done nicely around the eyes. I also noticed that on the under areas of his eyes, he's got these little lines of dark brown, similar in the coloring of his one eyebrow. I'm not sure why specifically they wanted to draw your attention so much to the bottom of the eyeball, but nonetheless, it's there. In case you are wondering, he does have ears on both sides. I don't know why, in case somebody was wondering that. I like overall the hair. It's kind of patchy in some places, but I guess perfect for specifically this particular rendition of Jason Voorhees. The good thing about it, though, is it's finished both ways. If you want to go with the sack head, by all means, that's probably going to be the route that I'm going to be going. If you decide you want to go sans le sac, that is without sack, then by all means you can display him with this. It's not a case where you would be removing the face and an unpainted, unfinished portrait would be looking right back at you. No, luckily the folks over at Mezco Toys have fully finished Jason Voorhees in all his gruesome splendor. I like it. For his articulation, his head rotates. He does have a full ball joint. I feel like I'm mangling his face. Could it be mangled any further? I doubt it. His head rotates all the way around. It's got a good substantial ball joint happening here. I feel like I'm being awfully aggressive with this head sculpt. The arms hinge outward at about a 90 degree, a little less than a 90, not quite a 90. The arm goes forward and back. He doesn't have any swiveling whatsoever. He does have, well, I guess he has a little bit of swiveling. He has a swivel like right at the biceps section. It's just covered obviously by his sleeve. Doesn't have a waist swivel. Does feel like he's got a little bit extra padding, but I think a lot of the padding is actually in his outfit and not simply they haven't added an extra little pillow on top of his torso. His legs split out. You can go forward. Oh, you can go back. Doesn't have, he has a swivel at the top, cut at the thigh. And then as for the feet only move only because I'm only moving the boot. So I mean, that's not really counting. That's cheating a bit. Yeah, not a bad figure. I like this one. You know, again, I'm a bit tickled pink when it comes to a new release from the Living Dead dolls. Don't expect this entire channel to be nothing but Living Dead doll reviews. That's not my thing. My thing is picking up Living Dead dolls, specifically certain property figures, and that could range from the Chuckies, the Freddys, the Michael Myers. Oh, there's a Michael Myers review coming your way. Just between you and me. And, of course, Jason Voorhees, to name a few. The regular Living Dead dolls, you know, just all those gruesome dolls that have really clever names, probably won't be picking those up anytime soon. So I'm kind of treading the fine line of really getting into the line of Living Dead dolls and still kind of looking outside at the party, outside the window, and I'm leaving condensation on the actual glass. This one I really do. Again, I wouldn't probably pick up every single Living Dead doll, but I do like Jason Voorhees. And this one, whether you go mask or sans le sac, either way, I really do think that this is a nice addition to your collection if you are collecting specific, I don't know why I have to be using bunny ears for that, specific Living Dead dolls for your collection. I think this is a really nice addition if you want to go that route. Now, I've never had a sack on my head for long periods of time, but I have had pillowcases on my head. I was trying to be a spooky ghost a long time ago. I was in my mid-20s. Either way, though, I can tell you, though, having a sack on your face for as long as perhaps Jason might be, it gets awfully sweaty. You're breathing in, essentially, your own air. It's got to be quite smelly. I don't think Jason really does brush his teeth. I think his breath probably smells like sardines and just dirt. Either way, I decided here in final looks, let the guy breathe some fresh air for a change. I took the sack off. Right now he's sans le sac. I really do like this release of Jason Voorhees. I'm always, again, kind of leaning the side of getting Living Dead dolls, only really for certain properties. Jason Voorhees, I've picked up a couple, I think, in the past. Wanted to add this one to my collection. And that's the story of, that's the glory of love. I realize, again, this is not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody's going to jump on board and say, hey, I haven't been interested in Living Dead dolls, but ever since checking out this review, you've won me over. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I'm not that successful of a salesperson. You never know. I don't know. Maybe some people might like Living Dead dolls. Maybe you have never picked up one for yourself, and this would be your entryway. I think this is actually a good entryway, if especially you like the Friday the 13th franchise, and specifically, you like sack-wearing Jason. Sort of an outcast of Hee-Haw. Remember Hee-Haw? I do. I'm old. Either way, if you manage to pick up this one for yourself, let me know down below in the comments section what you think. Or, if you've never collected Living Dead dolls for yourself, and your only really entryway into this is this one review, let me know what you think down below. I'm always curious to non-collectors of the same stuff that I'm into. It's always interesting how one person could be really into something, and that same whatever it is could be completely repulsive to others. I'm kind of that way with pancakes. I don't get pancakes. I always like to invest the idea of sitting down for a stack of hotcakes, but ultimately what ends up happening is the exact same thing every single time. By the time I get to the second or third pancake, I don't even want to look at them. I'd rather just throw them in the garbage and just alienate myself from the idea of even wanting them ever again. That's how I feel about pancakes. And maybe that's how you feel about Living Dead dolls. I don't know. Either way, if you are new to this channel or a longtime viewer, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Swing next door to the bell notification. You can turn that on. I don't know how successful that's going to be for the rest of the year. And of course, periodically, check out the homepage. There's a lot of tasty morsels happening over there of all the previous videos that I've done up to this point. And would you believe, it's probably hard to believe, all the future videos will be there as well. That's how it works. That's apparently how it works right now. It may change. Who knows? As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.